Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold on.
From that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
Guys, welcome to Risque Business News. I'm your host, May.
And I'm Laura, and we've got a pretty special guest today. I'm pretty excited. Want to introduce yourself? Chanel Omari?
Sure. Stand-up comedian here. Former Bravo TV.
Bravo Liberty.
Bravo Liberty. Oh my God, I can't wait.
God. Not really.
We're going to be focusing on that, but she's a very funny stand-up comedian as well.
Thank you. Well, I get it
but
from
we
you
want
guys,
to dig
I'm associated with you guys. Guilty by association. No, but yeah, you guys could check out my podcast, Chanel in the City, on iHeartRadio, and the All-Star Comedy Show at The Stand once a month. We've had you two on the All-Star Comedy Show.
We're all-stars. You hear
You're
that?
all-stars.
Look at us go. Hey now.
You're hilarious, both of you. And we'll have you again, of course.
Oh, thank you. I mean, this is all a ploy to get on your show again. I'm just kidding.
It always is.
Enjoy the next hour.
But yeah, we thought it would be apropos to have Chanel with us today because we are talking about one of my favorite things, and that is two of my favorite things, actually, the Real Housewives franchise and their history of fraud.
Ooh.
Fraud. Here it is. Once again, I think
Pretty
that
fun.
is every single episode we bring up fraud and how May is terrified of it.
I'm terrified of fraud. Fun fact about me,
Yeah.
I don't know what fraud is. So
Okay.
I'm worried that I am doing it.
Right.
is.
Same. I mean, I never
Probably
know.
is.
Like, I feel like we're all doing it. We're all some sort of fraud in life.
Yeah.
No?
I
Oh,
guess.
when you put it that way, you're probably
Like, I'm
right,
trying to be
actually.
deep. No, but I'm kidding. I mean, like, we always try to, like, I feel like, you know,
We're talking money laundering fraud.
money laundering. Not,
Right.
not persona.
We are
I like to be,
talking-
I like to, yeah.
Panama
I'm a-
Papers.
I'm a huge fraud in general.
No, me too.
But I don't know if I'm committing
Oh, yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is, like, it's so fascinating that people talk about just in general the Real Housewives, but like they're just fascinating people. Like we were talking about this. May had the privilege to hang out with us at my birthday.
Sure did.
And it was like wild because, you know, they're the same way, I guess you would say, on camera, off camera.
Yeah, I would think so.
The whole concept of a real housewife
Right.
has blown my mind for about 15 years now. I have not, but that's my fraud. I'm like, how is this a thing? Am I
So, okay.
turning slowly into one? Are we
Let's-
all in one way a real housewife?
Well, let's
Yeah.
quickly.
What
yeah,
is it?
kind of.
We're so Sex and the City
what
right now.
is it?
Are we, rhetorically, we're just asking these questions. Are we a fraud or are we not?
I mean, I don't know. We're looking for some answers.
But so
Yeah.
real quick, so I'm a huge Real Housewife head. I love the Real Housewives. I watch every single franchise, every single episode. I live for the reunions. I see Andy on the street in the West Village. I'm like, Andy! Like, I love...
You're like, pick me, I'm the next Real Housewife.
I mean, fucking
But I
maybe.
mean,
Is
fucking
she?
yes.
Is she?
Hello, they're doing the new cast of Real Housewives of New York City. All the casting directors, instead of hitting me up, why don't you listen to this podcast? Because you're also engaged, aren't you? Almost.
I mean, no.
Well, Laura's gonna be engaged. I guarantee it. We're
All
putting
right,
it in the
if
universe.
if it gets me
you
on Real
got two
Housewives,
girls,
we'll do it.
two women that they're looking for. Actually, that have like they're looking for the new younger generation, and they're recasting it, and they're looking for actually women who have had history, friendships. You know, before.
Mark has literally begged me. He was like, this is like part of our prenup. He was like, please promise me you will never go on a show like this.
Yeah, what would he do if you did? Would he do it?
No. God, no.
No, you
Definitely
would be
not.
It's okay.
Matt will do it. He'll do whatever I say.
He would do it. He's like, you better do it.
So, Laura, from my
So-
understanding, you don't know really anything.
I literally negative.
Okay.
Like, consider me an infant, freshly born into the Real Housewives world right now.
Okay.
Zero knowledge, smooth brain club. over
And
here.
Chanel was on a show called Princesses of Long Island.
Obsessed.
I was. Oh my God, but that's so embarrassing. Yes, it was. I'm not really a princess.
true.
I am not really a princess. But it was a show called Princesses of Long Island. It was like the mini Housewives, you know, and it was about 6 Jewish girls who moved back into their houses with their parents. Didn't really have it figured out, like the boomerang generation. And then they followed us like with our love lives, our career and all that. So we actually got to hang out with the Housewives a lot. You know, that's how I developed. Everyone's like, how are you friends with the Housewives? And I developed friendships with them because we would go to like NBC upfronts and do press together because we would be like the show rolling in for their show, you know?
Right.
And so they would like be really cool, like giving us advice, some of them, and some of them would be shady.
What was the advice on being?
Be yourself. No, at any cost. I was like, are you sure about that?
You know, continue to be wife. And that's
Continue to be
key.
a
That
mess.
is a big part of it.
It's actually not key at all. Most
Oh,
of them
yeah.
are like divorced or
Well,
single
correct.
or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys,
correct,
We're
which is-
learning. We're already learning.
And a lot of them-
Fact one.
Well, specifically for the Real Housewives of New York franchise, most of them have companies and businesses. Like they're
Yes.
not. It's not
Yeah.
just like stay at home.
Well-
Real Housewives just in like It doesn't have to be that way.
The one
Some
in
of them
L-
are,
the
but-
one in LA, I was saying before we started recording here. There was, what is the restaurant called?
Pump
Sir
and
Pump
Sir.
and Pump.
And Sir. And I
And
went
now
to
Tom Tom.
and now Tom Tom.
Yep.
All of them. Point being, I go to LA with a friend
Villa
of
Blanca.
mine.
Thank
We
you.
go to dinner at Pump. Everyone's
Yes.
freaking out because what's her name?
Lisa Vanderpump.
Lisa Vanderpump.
We are so on
Thank
it.
you. This is great. She arrives and everyone's freaking out. And I don't know who this lady is, but I knew she's famous, and I was like, this is kind of cool. And I go and take a picture with her.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I
She
was like
nice?
one of the only people who was able to get a picture with her.
Was
And
she
I was
nice
the
to you?
only person who had no idea who she was.
That's
I promise.
amazing.
She was very nice.
She
Is she
was.
really
Very-
pretty in person? I would imagine.
I mean, yes, very orchestrated, if you get what
like
I
a
mean.
lot of work done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
her-
I was like, honestly, to your credit, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I would too.
I'm
at that point.
gonna quote Erica Jane recently because I know we're gonna talk about her, but
oh,
she
we're
had
gonna
said,
talk about her. All right.
does her breath smell like halitosis?
Well, we kissed,
okay.
so-
Just kidding. Everyone says Lisa Vanderpump. It was like, like her. They're always talking about her breath being bad. I'm like, what, is that the
Seriously?
only thing you can knock her down about? Like, I just don't.
honestly, yeah. That's,
and how
if
close are
that's-
you getting that you're?
And
Yeah,
if
how
that's
close are you
people's
getting?
shit talk of you, that you have bad breath, that's it.
Yeah.
that can come up.
Yeah,
with,
that's it. I
you
mean,
win.
and- I mean,
you
there's a lot
fucking
of-
win.
I don't know, man. That would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, me too. I
Yeah.
mean, my ex-boyfriend used to say that I had bad breath all the time, and I was like, okay, now I know why I don't talk to people
Yeah. Yeah.
or try to get that close to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
You're like, something with a microphone, I think, is ideal for me.
and they can wipe that shit out,
Yeah.
off.
Oh my god! The other day I was at a show and I, by accident, like put my tongue on the microphone. I swear to you, because I was like doing a bit where I stick my tongue out and I licked the microphone. I was like, do I
No.
just go to the?
Yeah, you
do I
just-
go to the hospital?
You
Yeah, I
immediately
mean,
check
Do
yourself
I just
into the hospital.
spontaneously combust?
Yeah, that is
Call
like-
911 from the stage.
Yeah, it was horrific. Wow, that was disgusting. Okay. Well, what do you guys say we get into it? So we are talking about Real Housewives and their history of fraud, which I find this so fascinating that somebody would be committing a felony and would just volunteer to go on a reality television show where Chanel knows they like uncover everything out of your life and people
Yeah.
dig, especially now with the internet, people are going to be really doing some deep dives on you and your husband and your life and your businesses. And so it's fascinating to me that these people are this delusional that they are willing to put themselves in the public eye when they should be in jail.
especially since we're all pre-screened before we get on reality TV, so we're all
tell us
talking
about
to
that.
like
oh yeah, look, can you talk
without
about
giving
the,
too much info, but exclusive info. We talk to a therapist before they do a due diligence of like our background, our credit. Do we have situations like fraud or fucking?
Like-
Do we have situations of criminal background, which is so fascinating in itself because once you pass that, it's almost like who's overlooking what. I think the
Yeah.
whole situation of entertainment is if I don't have to say it and get caught, I'm going to pretend it doesn't exist until I do get caught. I don't
Yeah.
think you also realize when I was applying, there were some things about, like, I feel like about anyone, right, that you don't realize is out there. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe they'll overlook it because you want the.
I'm like, specifically what?
And I'm like, specifically, I've robbed so many houses. No, just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Those were just my friends in
I'm a
Hollywood. but it's like you want that opportunity so badly. So I understand what's going through their head where some of these people also live this rich life. They couldn't keep up with the Joneses. They get this opportunity, right? They were like failed actresses or they just are struggling artists. They want the opportunity as much as we do. They take that opportunity and they're like, no one's going to realize, or I might not get that famous. And then it happens so fast where I think they're like so narcissistic sometimes. They're like, oh, it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And then it happens. And then they're faced with the truth, which is really hard,
Is jail time.
Which is jail time, literally.
which is jail time.
That is wild.
losing your money, losing
So-
your spouse.
I have one friend who went on Survivor.
Mhm.
Also, they kept recruiting me to do Survivor.
That looks like a fun show, though.
Does it?
I mean, I wouldn't survive, but
you do get skinny, so I mean that's a perk.
That is a perk.
And I did not end up getting on Survivor, which was hilarious. But my friend did, and I had to do one of the interviews for her. And it was the most hardcore situation. I was like, okay, it is fine. But they were asking things like that, like, has she ever like shown like
Killed somebody.
yeah, killed somebody, have been violent with people around you? And I was like, no.
just my
Yeah.
ex-boyfriends. No.
Yeah.
It's severe, and that's what also
And-
is funny that they ask those questions and then you pass it or you don't. Sometimes the producers won't let you know. Like, we know this shit about you, but we might uncover this shit.
They
and-
probably
I'm sure
love
they
it.
love it. Yeah.
It's like
You want a
ratings
little
gold.
fraud.
I mean, there's
Who
so
doesn't
much
want a little?
fraud that they probably are
They
now
have
looking
to
for
know.
it.
Oh yeah, it's like
like a
now
perk.
a perk, right? It's
Yeah.
like a that
like fast
element
track.
story.
One of something so funny. So I just thought of this when my sister was single. This was like 5 years ago. One of her coworkers put her up for the Bachelor series, and she got just some random coworker that she wasn't even close with, some woman, like middle-aged woman. And she got a alert that was like, hey, we'd love to interview you, like the producer of The Bachelor, like blah, blah, blah. And my sister was like, who the fuck is over here? Like, poor Susie is so single, can't get a date. She was like so offended by this. Isn't that the craziest thing?
You think you'd be offended by it? I'd be flattered.
I mean, I tried out for the my friend did that to me, and she was, but at least she told me, she's like, we're pushing you, we're submitting you to The Bachelor. But I actually I got on the rejects. You know the rejects, what's it called, takeouts at the end, where like they show
the
American
people who-
Idol or like people who didn't make it because they're just ridiculous or like whatever, like they're not the fit.
And they were like, this girl.
They're like, I did like a samba dance. Like they asked me to showcase a talent, and at the time I was like, it was stand up comedy. That's how long I've been doing it for, and then dancing. And they're like, this girl cannot be with like a Barbie and Ken type of guy like on TV.
Right.
But
Samba
that's
dancing in, like,
hey, like pick me, you know.
That would not be the most ridiculous.
No.
I mean, it
I
wouldn't.
entrance.
You should see that video. I have to pull that video up for you. So it's
Oh,
deep,
please
deep
share.
somewhere.
Please share.
But that's the thing. It's like these. I don't think you realize like what is going to happen once you are on TV. You just want to be on TV, and then it comes out after. That's why I think it's like. But also, some of them are delusional. They don't think that it's going to happen to them.
Yeah. Let's get into some of these delusional nutbags.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, number one, this was probably the first one, was Teresa and Joe Giudice. Or is it Giudice? They go by both.
Both, yeah.
So, Giudice is obviously like the actual proper Italian way to say it. And then Giudice is how they've been going by.
Are they all Italian? Pretty much?
Yeah.
No. Oh,
A lot of them are.
in Real Housewives of New Jersey franchise, most of them are Italian.
Got it.
So they were from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. They've been there from the beginning. Famously, she flipped the table at Danielle Staub. That was amazing.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's wrong with her husband?
He's
There's a lot
gross.
wrong.
I don't know. Yeah.
Actually, we just actually had Melissa Gorga, her sister-in-law, on Chanel in the City on the podcast, and she
Oh,
talked
cool.
a lot about like this situation of like the feelings of like, you know, how family keeps secrets and they have each other's back, and they weren't aware either that this would happen to their family,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
or else they would have protected as much as possible. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, also famously, at the reunion of season 1, she yelled at Danielle Staub and said, "Don't you fucking talk about my family!" And then she pushed
Good
Andy.
yes.
Yeah.
Who's
and-
Andy?
Andy Cohen.
Cohen.
Oh.
This girl is out to lunch.
I told you. No one knows. Did I not say I have a smooth brain over here?
But that,
I think if there's-
common knowledge.
If there's one thing to have a smooth brain about, I think the Real Housewives franchise is okay.
All right,
But I
sure.
think that's what we love about her, and that's the thing is like Bravo kind of enables that behavior, right? Of being who you are.
Of
on
course.
a pod,
That's what they
like,
want.
Yeah, don't apologize for it. Whether I am accused for fraud, or I'm gonna flip a table, or I'm gonna hit the executive producer of the whole franchise in his head. I'm still having. She still has a long run of 14 seasons now.
Yeah, she does.
which usually doesn't happen for
Right,
anybody. You
right.
know what I'm saying? But
It's because people want to watch meltdowns.
You think?
Yeah.
Like honest. Oh yeah.
Well, and also
that's
there's
like
the-
the whole show, right?
There's like a redemption arc because
Yes.
famously she got indicted for fraud, which maybe I'll get into like real quick and then we'll
yeah.
circle
Like,
back
why,
to that.
What's her money situation? Let's dig in.
Okay, so on the show, I remember this because I watched season 1, obviously, and they bought this like giant fucking McMansion. Remember
Right.
that? And they were like living super lavishly, and it was just insane. It was even
which
more over.
that's the problem, by the way. That's the other thing is like.
The IRS is like, wait a minute.
Yeah, why am
Yeah.
I not getting a piece of this? Because the whole point of the reality TV is you have to show the lavish. So it's a catch-22. You have to show the lavish lifestyle, but then you're not aware that once you show it, there's consequences because there's jealousy, there's envy, there's people who want your money, there's people who want to just take things away from you.
Well, and also the
For whatever
government's
reason.
like, where's all this money coming
coming
from?
Yeah, all those people are the IRS.
arrest. She's like, Chanel, fuck you. Yeah,
Like, we are so jealous of their McMansion, and
But
what
they
the
shouldn't be
hell?
showcasing that so much. But then they don't have a
just the
choice
IRS.
because they have to as their job. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So it's like you're right, like right, and the IRS is like banging on the door, like, why aren't you sharing this with us? Why are
They
you
are
showcasing?
I
this?
kind of love them. They're like the best sleuths. Like they should
Yeah.
just be like relationship detectives. They're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they know everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
Oh, by
do.
the way, fraud does uncover a lot of these relationships and
Oh,
why
I
they go
bet.
wrong, and you know, a lot of cheating, sex, and scandal within it. You know,
Remember at the winery when Joe was on the
Yep.
phone with his mistress and that was
Yep.
caught on. that was caught on.
What the fuck is
and
this?
he called. It's so you have to watch. You got to binge watch this with Matt like one night and be like, "Listen, honey, we're gonna drink wine and binge watch all the fucking seasons."
I will never get engaged. Are you telling me?
The recipe for not getting engaged. You're right. You see, I can take a tip from you.
Moving the opposite.
Yeah, you're right. Don't listen to me. I'm single over here, 37
You're
still.
like definitely binge the Real Housewives with your boyfriend.
But he did.
Who primarily watches calculus videos. On
Oh my God,
hilarious.
I always walk in and there's literally calculus videos on your TV, and I'm like,
worst thing in the world. I hate
give me
it.
a headache.
The recipe for not getting engaged: watch Real Housewives of New York, New Jersey, the whole
I'm
franchise.
just drunk, just like
Mark
look
pretends
at
he doesn't like
Andy.
it.
He does. You think?
Yeah, because I watch it with him, and then he'll like leave the room and be like, "Oh, whatever," and then he'll come back in. And he's like, "Oh my God!" And then she's with her, like, but I'm like, and then what's the story with this one? And like Dorito, and like talking about Dorit.
Dorit. Okay, Dorit.
I was thinking Dorit, not Dorinda, but also there's Dorinda.
Dorito.
What are you doing here without Dorinda? I know this whole. Wow.
Wow, I'm impressed. This is a lot. This is more than I knew. I thought I was obsessed with Bravo, but
Okay, so back to Teresa and Joe. So
Yeah.
in 2013, there was an indictment that came their way when the couple was accused of overstating their income when they were applying for bank loans. So the Giudices were accused of using a bankruptcy filing to hide their increased assets after the first season of the TV show airing. Each count of failing to file a tax return could result in a $100,000 fine and up to 1 year in prison. Each count of bankruptcy fraud carries a $250,000 fine and up to 5 years of prison.
Oh, I love the IRS.
Yeah.
They're
So
not just,
the question is, why did the accountant why doesn't the accountant get the
bank?
liability?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's representing them or doing this for them or telling them the wrong advice or whatever. There has to be some
Right.
way that they could have not blamed it, but been like, listen, I don't know how to file taxes.
It's like when companies hire like the big four like accounting firms
Right.
to do their accounting, and then they're like, "Oh, I had no idea that we had no money."
Bobby, I don't you know.
Call McKinsey.
Right.
McKinsey said.
And then don't they
That's
get
like the whole reason the consulting firms exist.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
don't they get like a pass because they're like, well, my client didn't know. I don't know. That was
It
a lot of
actually
the
does.
argument.
It does help provide like a legal shield to an
Yeah.
extent.
But a lot of the
Interesting.
public on that I think got mad. They were like, they should have known, which yes, you should know to some extent, but you're talking about, with all due respect, to, people who are not as educated. They don't know this kind of language. They just
Right.
handed to an accountant
The
to
IRS
take
does
care
not
of it,
give a
Yeah.
shit.
But they
Also,
don't,
there was a
right.
lot of allegations, and I don't know if any of this is true. This is like wild speculation, but that a lot of the people in the first season, at least, of Real Housewives of New Jersey were in the mob. I don't know if that was just racially profiling them because they were Italian.
I'll tell you
or-
why. Because Danielle Staub was so her boyfriend was this big guy. I forget his name. Who they say was related to a lot of like the mob gangsters, like
I
Jimmy
see.
Hoffa time, like where
Oh, okay.
the union and everything, where
Right.
he actually had some documentaries that he talked about like being associated with the mob. I think his great uncle actually was a mobster gangster.
Oh, okay.
So they always associated that with Danielle Staub,
Mm-hmm.
and that was always like a conflict in New Jersey. Like I think everyone loved that because it was like that Goodfellas feel
Right.
for reality TV. Like these
Right.
girls
Yeah.
were really associated with these mob gangsters.
Wasn't there one? Correct me. Called Mob Wives?
Yes.
There was,
Yes.
yeah. That wasn't a Real Housewives
And I
franchise,
loved
but it was
it.
a different reality
That's
show.
an
Yes,
alternate.
and it was
Now that-
amazing on VH1.
Big Ange? Oh, wow.
Yes.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Man.
right,
She's
we'll
like,
circle
okay,
back.
what is going on?
Let's circle back because Mob Wives, I can get behind that shit for
yes.
sure. Where they're just openly like, we're in the mob.
Shout out
It
to
was
Ramona.
great.
She's one of my friends. Actually, her father was a mob gangster.
Oh, really?
How is he not? Is he in jail?
Not Ramona Singer.
Not
the
Ramona
other
Singer,
Ramona.
the other Ramona, and also they were in jail.
They were in jail.
They've been in jail, but then they got out of jail. Also, Big Ange, but also I'm blanking now. But one of the girls, she just did a documentary about her father being in the mob. So yeah, they're all like mob related, and I think that's what.
Oh, I see. Okay.
that kind of shit I can get behind.
Yeah.
That's
That
fun,
sounds-
right?
That
That's fun.
sounds like a delay.
Okay, but anyway, so 2014, the couple, Teresa and Joe, were convicted of fraud, and they made the whole situation worse because they weren't cooperating with the courts. They were withholding information, all that stuff. Essentially, they went to prison. So they did back-to-back prisons where I think she went to prison first, and then he went to prison for she went for 1 year, he went for 4 years. And because they have 4 beautiful daughters, as we know,
Daughters. Yes.
as she said a lot about, she's like, what am I going to do with my 4 beautiful daughters? So then that
She's
way
such a good friend.
they could both parent while the other one was serving the prison time. So the judge was lenient in that way to help out their family, which I think is kind of nice. But anyway, now she's out. He actually got deported to Yeah. So he
Laura's like, why do I need to binge watch? I'm getting all the info now.
What the hell could with this poor beautiful daughters?
I know these 4 beautiful daughters. I follow them on TikTok. They're not doing that great on TikTok. I gotta be honest. Kind of boring content. But anyway,
May's like, I'm gonna Kris Jenner you bitches more than Teresa.
So he was an Italian citizen and he never got U.S. citizenship. So when he got out of jail, they deported him to Italy. So now he lives in Italy, to the best of my knowledge, anyway.
So he was just on a green card or something like that, and then just
I guess.
it expired.
And it was exposed. It was like it was expired, and then it was exposed. I feel like because he was on reality TV, that's what happened. See, that's the thing about reality TV. Everyone's like, should I do it? Should I not? Is it good? Is it not? It's good and it's bad for anybody who's clean. For anyone who's clean and not clean. Like something's gonna get exposed.
If you're in the country illegally, pro tip: don't go
on reality TV. Right? Like it's like no matter how much you want it, because at what cost? Right? Like what do you want to sacrifice? I guess like
your fake citizenship
and
where
going
you
to jail, right?
Yeah.
Or do you want the fame? Like what's more important? I don't know. But they made
an
careers
answer for
out of it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to. No, that's crazy. Like
you wouldn't, right? So the normal person wouldn't.
Yeah.
But someone I think who's at that, I don't know. That's right. Like, why would someone do that?
Did he ever get back in the country?
No.
He can't.
So he's doing real. I can't even speak in fake
Real
Italian.
Yeah.
Real Housewives. Is that offensive? I don't know.
The Real Housewives of Italy.
You sound like
might do
Luigi
that.
and Mario.
Oh, yeah, of Roma. Real Housewives.
I think he lives in Roma.
Roma.
Yeah. Or Firenze.
Those 4 beautiful daughters have
I
been through a
know.
lot, though.
They
So
have been
they're
through
still
so
here
much
in the U.S.
Yeah.
still
So
in the US.
and now Teresa's dating a new guy who he
Oh, they
has
broke up. She was like, "You're not living in the U.S."
Louis.
So
They get
I
a
got
divorce, and
I love that.
Divorce.
yeah, divorce. And apparently, I have not watched this season, but apparently he's not a good guy.
Right. So here's another thing. On Melissa Gorga opened up, and we asked her, who's
By the way, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my entire life.
She was not even wearing makeup on the podcast, and she's so beautiful. I was like, when is your skincare coming out? Because you're so pretty.
Crazy.
And I was like, how do you feel about
So
Louis?
comfortable.
And she was like, I like him. He's a good guy. He treats her well. But I think there's a lot of friends that are saying that they knew him. They knew who he was married to in the past, like his ex-wife, and he was really controlling and really, I don't want to say abusive, but if that's hearsay,
I think Teresa's the kind of woman that
she's old school.
she's old school. She kind of likes a guy to push her around, which I don't know.
Like
Sounds
be possessive?
kind of fucking
Yeah.
horrible, but
Have these all got? Who the fuck are all these people? What the fuck's going on? Are they
Laura's
all
so lost.
I
on
wonder
one
if Laura was
season?
on this. I just would love to see Laura in action on Housewives, because she'd be like, "Listen, bitches, we're about to get down and
We're
dirty."
gonna do your taxes now.
Yeah,
They're
you'd
like,
be
no,
no one's
bitch.
going to jail on my watch.
Exactly. Like you'd be like the hype. Both of you like actually like keep them in check, like in a good way. Like I'm gonna actually be a good friend to you, and help you
Real
out.
quick, don't hate people. It's offensive.
I would get fired in the first season because they would be like making a scene at a restaurant. I'd be like, what are they doing? This is
Right.
so embarrassing.
Well,
for
that's
us.
what
Just
almost happened to
apologizing
me.
to the staff, like I am so sorry.
They
I'm
tip you really
so
well. Like,
so sorry.
That's exactly what happened to me, though. We were in the last episode, our finale. I was at the winery, and basically all my friends were like fighting, and it was like really embarrassing. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, this is mortifying. Like, my family comes to this winery every summer. Like, I'm not gonna put that at risk just for like fame on reality TV. And they were really going at it. And I remember I was like, you guys have to stop or I'm not filming. And I remember they would like threaten me and being like, you could be really easily replaced. So that's like the thing that everyone I think goes for that not bad behavior, but just goes for it because that's a job at the end of the day, and you have that whole situation.
But then
you
it's
get
like,
replaced.
then it's so obvious when people are just picking fights to have a storyline. Like, who's that housewife? I don't even remember her name, but she had a fake leg and she put it on the table.
Aviva,
hell yes.
Aviva Drescher, yes.
Aviva Drescher. Shout out. Who's
What?
Fran Drescher's cousin, actually.
Hell yeah.
Comedy at its finest.
Oh
The
my
only
God.
thing fake about me is boom, and she puts a leg.
Hey, I love that you know all these
And
quotes.
Bethany was like, I'm out.
Bethany Frankel?
Bethany Frankel.
Oh,
yeah.
I love her.
See,
okay,
you know Bethany
I know
Frankel.
Bethany Frankel because she has been on TikTok recently. Do you follow her on
Yes,
TikTok?
I love her on TikTok.
Oh,
She cracks me up, man.
I am obsessed with her. She does the best reviews of products.
Yes.
But they're always just like, what the hell is this? And she's like, feels expensive. You should buy it. Maybe. I don't know. It's $80. Whatever.
And her hair is like all out of whack.
She influenced me. She successfully influenced me.
Okay, cool.
I bought 2 Hermes lip oils.
I have to be
that.
honest. You look beautiful today.
Yes, you do look
thank
beautiful.
you,
You
Bethany.
look really nice.
Brought to you in part, but she got no money from it. So Bethany, how do we?
She's like, I have Venmo.
Oh,
She doesn't
your
need money.
Venmo.
That
She
bitch
does
sold
not
her
need-
brand, I think, for like $180 million
I'm
or
obsessed with
something.
her.
Yeah, she's great. She's
she's
smart.
she's
Smart
cool
cookie.
as shit. That
Yeah.
one I like.
She was
what
also
episode
smart.
is she in?
She's
the
in Real
first-
Housewives of
New York.
But she's been on a few seasons, probably like 5
She's
or
been
6
back and
altogether.
forth.
That's what I'll go and look at.
Yeah,
I'll watch
so-
Bethany, my girl.
Yeah, and she also had a spin-off with her ex-husband. And then what else did she have? Probably some other things too.
She also just did something recently on HBO with it, which she was like
yeah.
she was trying to get people, these youngsters who wanted to have their own business ideas.
That's
She's
cool.
always,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And she was on Shark
Of
Tank.
course she. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
why is she the best
She
friend?
really crossed
Yeah.
over
I love-
as a housewife, like to become like a lifestyle mogul, where
Yeah.
most of them can't do that. They're always like typecasted as just housewives. Whether
She's doing a great job.
doing a
I
great
keep
job.
leaving comments on all her videos.
yeah, and she gives back.
She likes them
Yeah,
sometimes.
she
I'm like, hey,
has,
girl.
Before we continue, a word from our sponsor, Risque Business News, is brought to you by Breakshot Pool. There's a new mobile game out there. It's called Breakshot Pool. It's an app for iOS and Android. Breakshot Pool is the only pool game on the App Store, is specifically designed to be played between real-life friends like you and me, Laura.
That's pretty dope.
Sometimes you need a little break, and this is a perfect game for that. Breakshot Pool is a fun and perky turn-based game that is completely non-intrusive, no annoying ads, or forced in-app purchases. Many players have called it the Words with Friends of Pool.
Oh,
So that's a lot of fun.
very popular game.
With Breakshot Pool, you can play pool with your friends without needing to be online at the same time. When a friend plays, you get a notification that it's your turn and you can play back whenever you feel like it. So kind of like texting. The game is free and in-app purchases are completely optional. So even if you don't consider yourself a gamer or a huge pool fan, check it out. You'll see how fun it is. Many non-gamers have already been enjoying it, which is pretty cool. I am non-gamer. I love it. And I hate games. It's a great way to connect with friends, especially since many of us are stuck working from home and, across the country and all that kind of stuff. This game gives little fun breaks from it all. Breakshot Pool is available on iOS and Android, and iOS and Android can even play each other.
Oh,
so
shit.
if you have a poor friend with a green bubble, you
but
can
a
still
better
play them.
camera for whatever reason. Risque Business News listeners who download the game will get a variety of in-game goodies for free to make your experience even better. So go to the Apple or Android App Store and search for Breakshot Pool. That's Breakshot, one word, Breakshot, BREAKSHOT, and Pool, POOL. One more time, Breakshot Pool. Link is going to be in the description. Download the game, invite your friends, show off your skills, send your reactions to each other. The developers are big fans of the pod. We really appreciate them and would love to get Risque Business News fans to connect with this cute game on their phones. Hell yeah. So please do this. Give yourself a little break. Try out this free game. As listeners of the pod, you're getting free goodies. The whole thing is free, so give it a try today. Available on iOS and Android. Link in the description. Breakshot Pool.
What's that called? Her charity.
Yeah, I'm so bad. It's to give back to like the people who lost, like in the hurricanes.
Yeah, it's
that
usually
lost
hurricanes
their-
relief. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's a
but
good
she
egg.
did it
Wait,
smart.
does she
where
have fraud? Any
No,
fraud
so
on
that's
her?
the thing. She
Not
was
yet,
smart.
anyway.
That like I think in the beginning she told, but she was also open about her story. She was
Yeah.
open about her struggles. So anything that comes out on her, really, she can justify by being like, "Well, I was honest and said that this and this and this and this."
Yeah.
You know, I think most of the housewives keeping quiet about it in the beginning is their mistake. They should just be open about it
Yeah.
and face the consequences. Like that's
Right.
real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she did it really smart because she was, I think, in her mid-30s or something like that in the beginning, and she was single. Like, she wasn't a housewife of any. Like, she was
Right.
living in an apartment. She was trying to sell cupcakes, and like,
Mhm,
there's
and
footage.
cookies.
There's very funny footage of her going around to Whole Foods, being like, "You want to try a sample?" And the guy's like, "No," and she's like, "Okay." And like,
She makes perfect.
and that's like where she
Yeah.
was 10 years ago, and now she's literally a freaking
Almost
multi, yeah, huge, like tons of money. She's
The
got
whole thing is,
a
I spend my
daughter.
money
She's
so
got a
you don't
beautiful
have
daughter.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
beautiful daughter Bryn.
Beautiful daughter Bryn, yeah.
Yeah.
And but she's I feel like she's the example to follow where she took the steps, she was honest, and she faces things if things sneak up on her,
Yeah.
Some of these housewives I think piss off the public eye because they pretend they have this perfect life, which is
Yeah.
not their fault because they need that job and that money to pay off that almost
Right.
perfect life, and then they hide these skeletons in the closet and they don't want to admit it
Right.
until everyone's like, you have to admit it. We have all these facts,
Yeesh.
you know?
It's awkward.
Yeah. Weird. Maybe I
But
won't do
mean,
reality TV again.
Yeah, why would you want to just watch people just be like normal,
Right.
like and rich?
Well, my parents said to me when I didn't get the second season renewed, I was so depressed. I was like going through a really mental like breakdown. I remember
I want to be a princess.
Yeah, I want to be. It was my break. My dad's like, I thought you wanted to do stand-up comedy, you dummy. I'm like, I know, but it's the kind of like, it was
Hand
my
in
break,
hand,
you
yeah.
know? Like it comes hand in hand. Because I was kind of like the comedy relief character in that show, and I got to do my impressions and my jokes, whatever. But when it didn't come to fruition, it was almost like my mom's like, maybe it's a blessing. Like maybe you don't want people to find out more and more about you. You don't know what people could use against you and could ruin your reputation.
And living your life in the public eye, I mean, wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah.
Ironically, I'm marrying Mark.
I was gonna
But he's
say,
not like he's not public like that. Like he's just on
he's the
stage
perfect
and,
public eye. Like I feel like it's like the good stuff that's written about. Like you know, like I would want that success. I don't want to be written about.
But I don't want people to know about like what
Too
goes
much
on in our
private.
house. Like
Yeah,
we
I
have
feel
like
like no
you know,
one
there's
knows
some
that.
things that are like sacred. But
Well,
like
I
he'll be
mean,
on podcasts.
Not
he'll be
to
on
bring it
whatever.
up real quick, but I mean that's the reason this Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing has been.
Yeah.
I'm so
been
obsessed
the
with
best
it.
thing that's
What do you guys
happened
think of
to this
this?
country. They are single-handedly bringing this country together.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God! Yes.
It's
Well, I also
I'm
think that
living for
Johnny
it.
Depp's team, whether or not like whatever the outcome will be, we'll see. But I think Johnny Depp's team wanted it to be on TikTok and wanted it to be so visible and talked about because if he loses,
he's probably gonna lose.
but
to be
like,
honest.
but if he loses, then like everyone will know what actually happened. But
Right.
if nobody saw this and they would just be like, oh well, he actually is a wife beater, fucking
Right.
dick.
And
so
they're
they'd-
smart to
that's
like
smart
protect
to put it
him.
out there because
I think he's gonna
ultimately
win.
this is a fight for his reputation.
it's the court of public opinion. He doesn't
Yeah.
give a shit on the
actual
million,
verdict.
whatever.
Yeah.
They don't actually care.
and
It's just,
she will never work a day in her fucking life.
Oh,
Again.
you think right? And you know
Amber,
the
if you want to come on the pod, I think you're gonna have time.
She's like, now I'm gonna have my own podcast and I'm gonna make my own movies. No, but she also like, I think he's gonna win only because he is talking about like he's finally expressing himself, whereas before he was silent.
yeah, but also he's suing her on a thing where she never brings him up by name,
Right.
and it's very difficult. Like,
she doesn't.
no, not
That's
in the article that
crazy.
he's talking about.
Right.
So that's the reason. Like,
She did that. She did that on purpose.
Purpose.
That
Of course.
fucking bitch.
That's why
dude.
he
I mean,
thinks you could
it
tell
would be
he's
pretty
like.
stupid if she.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
It's just so. It's like literally the best
Fuck.
reality TV.
Is it?
Oh
though?
my
Other people do
God.
that, yeah.
And social media, like
It's
right?
the
'Cause
best.
It's all over
It's
social
the,
media.
I'm living.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
living for
Same.
it.
It's one of those things. Like everything I've learned about this trial has been against my will.
Yeah,
Like
and-
I'm loving
Yeah.
it, but it's
I
that
mean,
meme.
It's
It's
everywhere.
particularly. Yeah.
everywhere.
All right. Should we move on to the next
Yes.
fraudsters?
So that one had fraud, went to jail,
Went to jail, came out of jail,
did
and now it's
alternating jail, and then her
But she
husband
had
got
a lot of
deported,
books
so
out
she
of
was
it.
like,
yeah.
bye.
She wrote a book.
She wrote a
did a bunch
book.
of
like
stuff.
Orange is the New Black
Yeah.
Energy.
Yes. Orange is the New Black Energy. And she's like, yeah, like that New York Times bestseller, which just goes to show you don't have to go to college, folks. No, just kidding.
seriously.
For real, though, you
Teresa.
actually don't.
But you actually don't.
Seriously, we
No.
don't
Get a
go to college.
ghostwriter. I mean,
Okay, so
Go
next
to trade
people.
school.
This is out of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and
my favorite franchise.
Oh, it's so
This
good.
is the Lisa Vanderpump.
My
Yeah.
girl, my best friend, Lisa
I have a
Vanderpump.
feeling you would love this franchise the
Yeah.
most too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would like
I
it.
like this one in New York because I like their outfits.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I like to get
Fashion's
like
incredible.
style advice. Not that I follow it. I wear this sweater every day. But
And also what I like about them is like, correct me if I'm wrong, they're light enough. Like there's not too much conflict where like they
Yeah.
can bounce back from it. Whereas Jersey could get really dark and deep. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Can we
Atlanta.
quickly okay, so
Yeah.
there's Atlanta,
Yes.
there's Jersey, there's New York, there's Beverly Hills.
there
What-
was
Orange County.
Dallas.
Oh, what the fuck would
There
happen
was-
in the Dallas?
It was
Oh.
awful. It was so bad.
Just be like,
It was getting
it's
bad.
hot.
Well, there was a racist situation that if
Of
they
course
did,
there
they
was.
should have picked up the next season, even though it was hot. So a lot of times with Bravo, there's liability, right? It's either
Yeah.
do I go with this fully, like these fraud cases, and the whole public's talking about it, so this is going to give us ratings, or do we cancel something before it gets us in hot water? So Tiffany Moon was on Housewives of Dallas, and she's a beautiful Asian. She's a doctor, and she was a
Why
housewife.
did she go on Real Housewives?
And she
a
right,
lot
she
of them
didn't
have
need it.
legit jobs. A lot of them are
Really?
doctors, lawyers, all
But they
that
wanted
shit,
to
yeah.
be actors and actresses, so it's like their opportunity. Like
They
to
just want to
showcase
be.
that.
They're just narcissists, basically.
yeah,
they
and
just
they-
want to be on
Do they
TV.
do tech sales?
It's like I don't know. I mean,
sign
yeah. But they have like businesses. She has like a wine business, and she got into it with Cameron Scott, who's another cast member. She's an original cast member on that show, and it was like a lot of like racist tweets she was accusing
Yee.
the cast member of. But I feel like if they had a next season, they could have had that as a storyline, and it would have been not boring. It would have been.
I just did not give a
interesting.
shit about
You
that
didn't give-
franchise.
A lot of people say that.
I also there was
OC. There's Housewives of Orange
OC,
County.
that's the
That makes
original
sense.
I
one.
love
That
that.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And then what was the one? Potomac. That one sucked too. I didn't give a shit about that
Where
one
even
either.
is that?
It's in Maryland.
Oh,
It was
I
so
love
dumb.
yeah,
Do
Potomac.
you like Potomac?
I mean,
Nah.
I can't get into it, but I like Giselle Bryan. She's a friend of mine, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Robin Dixon. They have like good personalities.
They're pretty and all that stuff, but they're just not
They're very
doing
pretty.
it for me, you know?
Right.
I would love them to do it in D.C.
Oh, they had it.
Yeah.
And
They
it's just
had
like
it.
senators, and
They-
we're like,
Yeah,
Real
oh,
They had it, but then they
No.
canceled it.
They
I mean,
had-
that'd be
Yes,
the
the
best.
Real
couple
Housewives
that-
of DC.
One of the people on the show was the couple that snuck into the Obama's White House.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And that's why
That-
they
yeah,
canceled the
that-
show. That was actually
were like, too
they
much.
aired when Princesses aired, and we
Oh.
loved that. And they were so fascinating. They also are launching Housewives of Dubai.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Caroline Stansberry
Yeah,
from Ladies of
from
London.
Ladies of London.
And
Great
that's
show.
going to be like really
I watch
cool.
so much TV.
When the fuck? When?
I don't know. I'm so
Do you
busy.
sleep?
Yeah, I was like, you're so busy.
I'm very
And
busy, but all I do, well,
It's part of your homework, though.
listen, if my boss is listening, this is for legal, this is a joke for legal purposes, but usually I'll just have it in the background while I'm working.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's what I.
Because it's not exactly cerebral. Like
No.
you can keep up without really
She's like typing. She's like, "Oh, Phaedra Parks got into a fight. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay."
fair enough.
Okay, so next couple we're going to talk about is a big one that's going on right now. It's right now it's in legal court, I believe. It's Erica Jane and Tom Girardi. Let's bring them
Favorite
up.
case. Oh my god.
All right.
There they are. So match made in heaven.
Once again,
Yeah.
gorgeous. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
He's
Where's
just
your
old.
hair?
He's one of the biggest
Yeah.
attorneys.
Are they all ugly men? Are all the men on the
that's-
show
that's-
ugly?
No,
Not
th-
ugly, but-
Maurizio's hot.
He's hot. That's Kyle
Okay.
Rich's husband.
Yeah. Who
you
else
know
is
what?
hot? Joe Gorga
Hey,
is
it's the
pretty
money.
cute.
It's the money, isn't it?
It's the money.
Yeah. So
it's the money,
I mean,
honey.
she looks like a model.
She's beautiful.
I saw her in person once.
Does she look the same?
This man
or-
is
Yeah.
man is going to die. Is he dead?
He's like 80. Yeah, he's like an
Okay,
old
there
man.
you go.
So I saw her at some place in LA, I forget where, and I just noticed that some woman was like extremely tall, and then I was like, oh my god, it's Erica Jane, and she was just like, she was huge. She was
Oh
like
my
11
God.
feet tall because I think she was wearing enormous heels, and I think she's a tall woman.
Did you say hi?
That's my favorite move.
No, I was too scared.
Oh, I was
Come
like,
on,
it's
go
Erica
get the
Jane.
picture.
I should have gotten
you
the
have
picture.
to do that next time. Oh
I
my
was
God,
trying to
I love
act
her.
like I'd been there before, you know what I
Right,
mean?
like
but
you're cool.
I
Sometimes when
hadn't
you play
been there
cool,
before, and I
they're
really wanted a picture.
She's awesome. She has like a awesome music career, and she was in Chicago.
Well, a lot of people say that the music career was a cover up was a money
the
laundering
fraud?
scheme. Yeah,
Love
exactly.
money
So
laundering.
she was like basically a pop star. She was actually getting kind of big.
Yeah.
I mean, especially due to Real Housewives. But anyway, so there was a lawsuit that accused her and her husband or accused her specifically of aiding and abetting the alleged financial wrongdoings of Tom Girardi, her husband. So essentially,
She can't get over it.
I know.
I was actually recently dating a guy that age. No, I'm just kidding. But that was like
So,
50 years old.
Can
So
we quickly I'm sorry, quick
I get
sidebar.
it.
You know the whole like how the internet, like the incel community are mad at like chads and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They're like
sure. Yeah.
women only like these chads. Like they're so like these hot, like you know,
Right.
classic. No, we don't.
no, we don't.
No.
We mostly date old fucking gross men.
Yes, exactly.
What the hell?
That's a funny joke.
All the hot
It's true.
bitches
Are
like,
with horrifying
Yeah.
And by the
rich
way,
men.
everyone's saying how Erica Jane
I
used
get it.
Tom Girardi for his money.
mean-
Not necessarily. Like, yeah, he was powerful. But remember, she met him when she was younger. He was younger. So he
Right.
was in his 50s.
What
she
it-
was in her late
Oh.
20s. I was
She's in
recently-
her 50s.
she's
She's
in her 50s
now in her 50s, yeah.
almost 60, and he's in his
She
80s.
looks incredible. What is
Yeah.
she
I don't know
doing?
if she's
Drop
that
the
old. I
tip.
think she's like
Maybe 40. Sorry, 40.
49,
No, she's like in her
50 or
40s.
something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
But I was recently dating a guy. I'm 37. I was recently dating a guy in his 50s, and it's like he doesn't even have that much money or power. But sometimes when a guy's charismatic, charming, treats you right, I don't know.
85.
85 takes. I mean, especially him, a powerful lawyer taking the
Yeah.
reins, taking you in a Ferrari. It's like it's not that.
So I do
Far-fetched.
think that he
Only
did have
5
money,
years. Like, what are
Far-fetched.
you gonna do? 5 years? Hold on.
but he had that famous case.
Yes. With the airplane, so the victims
What-
from the airplane crash.
Yeah. So
What?
there was. So he was.
She's gonna drink a lot of wine tonight.
He was
Meg.
the lawyer for victims of a
Still have to
of an
handle it, yeah.
airplane crash. Where was it? Not Malaysia. Somewhere else.
The Malaysian
Indonesia.
Airlines?
No, a different one. But he's
He
getting
handled
accused.
all those
Yeah.
big cases.
Wait, what? Oh yeah.
he represented Malaysian
But
Airlines.
essentially, he's
Where they
being
all disappeared.
accused
No.
of withholding money from the orphans
Victims. Yeah.
and the victims' families.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it makes
Perfect.
it even
Perfect,
more. It makes it even more scandalous than the Teresa Giudice, right?
That's way worse.
because it's
Yeah.
like now
Right.
you're taking money from victims, and that's like a whole different
From
play.
orphans.
Right.
And or that's what they. Andy
Yeah.
Cohen, he's like from orphans.
It
This
really
is a
sounds
different-
bad when it's orphans.
Yes.
But then also, I saw first of all, the Beverly Hills trailer. Wow, masterpiece.
What, the new
Holy-
season?
Yes.
You saw it already?
Yes.
Stop. I need to see it. I did not see it
You
yet.
haven't seen this?
Oh my God. I have
Wow.
to see it.
So
Oh my God.
Erica
So
Jane
I'm gonna
is
surprise you.
there's
I have also not seen this.
it is incredible, and Erica Jane is wicked drunk in one scene, and she goes, "I don't give a fuck about the victims. I care about myself."
Oh, this is
And
the new one, not the one
yeah.
that just passed, obviously.
No, the
coming
new
up.
one, dude,
Yeah.
and it's fucking
Oh,
wild.
so there's more stuff that's coming out.
It is
Shit.
literally
This is just an
I don't even need to
extended
see this.
ad for Real Housewives right
It
now.
is so good. I can't
thought it was like
wait.
gonna like kind of because I thought now that it's kind of getting, it's not over. It never will be over because this will stay with her forever in a way. But you'll get into it. But like I didn't think they were going to talk about it that much this season, so that's crazy.
So
to me.
her old
Oh,
ass
yeah, for sure.
husband screwed over some orphans. He's like real like Ebenezer Scrooge energy.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And
also,
she's married to him, and she's hot as shit. She could be
Yep.
not
Yep.
doing that, but she
Right.
is.
So she's also involved, or she was involved. I think recently her name got cleared on a few charges. However,
She was
had-
involved in the orphans. Like
That's what it
they're
was
saying,
alleged.
That
she
$2
knew
million
about it.
was so he had taken allegedly $2 million to $4 million from the victim's money and put it in her LLC, Erica Jane LLC, which was where the music was filtered from, the production.
he was like, the orphans love your music.
yeah, he's like, hey, we're gonna invest the orphans' money in your music.
Love
Pretty
your
much.
music. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Bumping it.
So, yeah, it was pretty crazy, but she's been cleared on a few things, so that's good. She was dismissed on that $2 million embezzlement. I think he'll probably still get in trouble for it, but he has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Right. And so they're saying that he doesn't even remember any of this
right.
or anything, which is
Right.
a great plea, by the way. Kudos to his lawyer, if anybody needs a good lawyer, because that's what he's pleading, right? Like it's
Right.
like when someone pleads insanity, you kind of can get off of
It was like that guy in our story a couple weeks ago where he goes to court and he was always like, he automatically was like, I have dementia.
yeah.
I can't be here.
Right.
And then it turned out the doctor who diagnosed him was it was like St. Jude's in Houston or something where he donated a shit ton of money.
Oh my God!
Right,
of course,
right.
right.
Perfect.
That's the excuse. Just
Perfect.
tell people you have Alzheimer's, but
Yeah.
that's what they're saying that he doesn't remember
the old
anything.
Alzheimer's
Right.
excuse.
Okay, moving on. Jen Shaw of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake. This one to me is the
Salt
most
Lake?
agreed. Salt Lake City, yeah.
Utah,
There she
Are
is.
they all Mormons?
a lot.
She-
Yeah.
Is she a
A-
Mormon?
Most
no,
of them
a
are.
lot of them are. I don't know if she's a Mormon or not, but a lot of them are Mormons. I think she's a Muslim. I don't know what the fuck
She
she
cracks
is.
me up though.
But yeah, she's religious in some way. But
She's terrifying.
she's really scary.
Well, and
honestly.
she's the most conflicted. Like
She
she's the
looks
one who
like
has most
she
conflict
would-
on the show.
Yeah,
She looks
she's
like
a
she would
bitch.
kick my ass.
She's known for throwing glasses at people,
yeah, she's
yelling
yelling
at people.
people.
She's out of her fucking mind. I was actually surprised they brought her back for season 2 because she was so unlikable. I just hated her
and
so
with
much.
this whole thing going on. But here's the
Yeah.
thing: when I was joking the other night saying to be a housewife, someone's like, "What do I have to do to be a housewife?" I'm like, "Get a fraud case," because like,
Yeah.
or go to jail or have a meltdown because that's what they're looking for at this point. You know
no,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure. So Jen
ratings.
Shaw, she was indicted for her alleged role in a long-running telemarketing scheme while filming season 2, and she faces 50 years in prison.
How does she have the
50.
time? She's busy.
Dude, I don't know. So, yeah, pretty fucking crazy.
Can you elaborate
dude.
on what this telemarketing scheme was?
Yes, I can. So, blah,
Was
blah,
this
blah.
like
Let's
this
see.
like your car insurance? And I'm like, I
It
don't
was
have
her
a car.
business.
So
right? It was her
Jennifer
beauty
Shaw, who portrays herself as a wealthy and successful business person on reality TV, and her assistant Stuart Smith, allegedly generated and sold lead lists of innocent individuals from other members of their scheme to repeatedly scam. In actual reality, as alleged, the so-called business opportunities pushed on the victims by Shaw, Smith, and their co-conspirators were fraudulent schemes motivated by greed to steal from the victims' money. So
it's a similar case to the Girardi case where she stole money
Kind
from
of.
victims' insurance.
Yeah,
Right? It was like
and-
insurance.
the most heinous thing about this is that they were preying on elderly people.
Yeah,
Right.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's like that
It's
movie.
sad. That's really fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Where they sell them like some sort of like
yeah, package deal or whatever, or dream.
yeah, cable, but it's not, or
Mhm.
something like
Yeah.
that, and then they just take all their money.
So
We should
basically,
actually do a deep dive into those kinds of schemes sometimes because they're really, really nefarious.
they're really crazy.
And
People need the red
this
flags on
lady,
that.
Jen
Yeah.
Shaw,
Shaw.
Yeah,
What?
so they were basically selling like lead lists for fictitious business opportunities.
This is why I don't think old people should have phones. Just
Yeah.
don't skip
And
it.
the crazy thing is, season 2 starts with the first episode where she gets indicted and the cops are there, like
Yeah.
going to arrest her. The FBI shows
Dude,
up on reality
Homeland
TV.
Security showed up.
I'm like,
like
you
a
can't-
SWAT team.
And
Do you think Homeland Security, they had to like sign release forms
Yes.
to Bravo
I
to
guess
be
so.
like,
Yes.
oh my God,
To, like,
it's
show
my
up.
big break. I'm a sniper.
I'm coming in like all black
Oh my
suits, like
God.
crazy. And then she took off her mic. She's like, I can't do this now. If it was me, I think I would just have
No
a meltdown
shit,
on
you
TV.
can't do it now.
No shit, you can't.
You're a little
She's like, I gotta
busy.
call my lawyer. She was like running out to escape from the party bus that they were about to take a trip on, and
she's
they're all
still
like,
like-
"Oh my God, the FBI is here."
yeah, and then she fucking
Wait for
she
me,
tried
guys.
to flee.
Guys,
And
wait
then
for
she was like, I was just driving down the road out of the country. That's
That's
so
such
weird.
a typical narcissistic thing of a housewife to say, like, "Oh my God, I just didn't know." you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's like you didn't know the direction of your house.
I didn't know the FBI was here for me. There's a whole bus full of fraudsters there.
I didn't know it was for
So everybody in the case has pled guilty except for her.
Hell yeah.
Which-
okay, hold out.
I know, but I think that probably that's. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I think that that's gonna
You're
make
not?
the that's gonna make the court not be so lenient on her.
Yeah, they're gonna
and
fuck her up.
That's shitty.
Especially in Utah. She's going. Oh, I guess it's
So she's
federal.
still going
to
through the case.
Fed.
She's going to the feds.
Ooh.
She's not allowed to leave Utah unless she's going to court in New York.
And here's the crazy thing is they're filming season 3.
And that's the worst
usually you
punishment of
don't
all.
film when you're in the middle of evidence or a case.
Right.
Like that's tampering with evidence or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a lawyer either. Don't quote me.
Yeah.
And they're still allowing her to film it, which means
What?
that's crazy to me. I guess because
Crazy.
she feels that if she see again, you don't realize, you think it's going to be to her advantage that she's telling her side of the story.
Do you think Bravo has dealt with the FBI so many times
I
at this
guess.
point that they're like, listen, it's us, Bravo. Another one of
Yeah.
our girls
Hey, Bob.
again.
Yeah.
Hey, can we just please?
Hey, we got her here on the winery trip.
Please, can we keep filming?
Fucking psycho, dude. It's so
Sign the
crazy.
release form. We'll tag
Yeah.
you at FBI Bob.
I wonder if it's like only Bravo or is it mostly with Bravo celebrities that
It
are
really
getting these
sounds-
criminal because a lot of like the Lifetime reality stars like
Yeah.
90. You don't hear this with 90 Day Fiance.
Well, you hear some crazy shit with
Sometimes.
90 Day Fiance, like, but usually that
like
comes
he
out
raped
in the
me in my basement, but I
Yeah.
married him from first sight. Like, oh my
right.
God.
Well, there was that one guy that was on the show, and he had to come clean to his
Yes.
Brazilian girlfriend, where he was like, "I had a little problem with arson. Oops, I was like burning
Don't
down
we all?
churches. Whoops."
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all? Yes.
Exactly. Fun fact about the Planert family. Actually, every boy
Right after an arson discussion.
No, really.
Oh,
every
no.
boy in the Planert family has at one point lit a fire that had to get the fire department involved. And then when I was younger, my brother lit like a fucking field on fire.
Oh
And
my-
then he had to go to like fire safety school. And my mom was such a wasp where she wasn't telling me and my sister. She was like, "Oh, he has like Spanish class," and we were like, we
El
know,
Fuego.
yeah, we were like, we are aware that our brother is a fucking psycho pyromaniac, and he did it with my cousin. I grew up thinking that every boy lit fires, like huge fires.
they're-
You're like, Mark, why aren't you lighting our apartment on fire?
Yeah, it's like this is
Coming
so
of
weird.
age.
Irish,
They're
you light
and
any
now you're
fires?
a man. Irish, did you ever light a fire?
Have I lit a fire before? Oh yeah, plenty.
Yeah,
there you go.
see,
It's what you
guys
do. You
love
gotta become-
fires.
The next, your tagline is May Planert. I'm the housewife of New York City, and my husband lights fire. No,
May
my
has
brother
a-
lights fire.
My brother lights fires in the
There's just
has
something
neighborhood.
primal about it. I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's very man.
That's kind of badass, though.
If May has a baby
Yeah.
shower and it turns out to be a boy,
I guess.
I know every gift we're gonna be. Here's
some wood.
matches. Here's
I know.
kindling.
It's so
Put
funny.
it in the back. You'll find it.
Both of my sister's kids are boys, and we were like, well, you have a date with the with the freaking fire department in
Yeah.
about 13 years.
you better,
so
you better start befriending some firefighters.
That is funny.
it's
Oh my
also
God.
like, you know how they say like if you like wet the bed, if you torture animals, and like I think the third one is like lighting fires.
Yeah.
It would make you like a serial killer.
Oh, what?
So, wait, if
Wait,
so
now
that's
three
like,
tips to being
Oh,
a serial
you know,
killer. I
that
gotta.
classic.
yeah, no,
That
I'm
little
serious.
tail. What?
If you wet the bed, if
You wet the bed?
yeah, no, like if,
Oh,
if
God,
you're
I've
like a
done that.
serial bedwetter,
Oh.
pyromaniac, and then if you like are torturing animals as a kid, then that's like signs that you might kill somebody.
Torturing animals makes sense.
Yeah.
The other two, I'm just like, I mean, have
Yeah.
a little fun. I don't
Mark
know,
was a
little.
bedwetter, and my brother lit fires, so I'm like almost with the trifecta with the boys in my life.
Oh, no.
Nobody tortured animals, though.
We're worried about
Now
it.
you just need someone who's gonna torture animals.
Yeah,
That
Mark
sucks.
told me he had a friend that that like there was like a stray cat and he threw him into a fire and the cat got away and I was like, I don't know who your friend is, but they need to go to jail.
The fact that
Yeah.
you use the word friend still, Mark?
Yeah.
How is he not
Think about it.
traumatized? Like
the-
what?
He was.
Okay, I'm sure he
He
is.
was. I mean, it's like the
What the
craziest
fuck?
thing ever.
Did you see the movie? I hate to go down this trail, but we're gonna. Don't fuck with cats.
No, but I
God,
want to.
yes.
I have never. I'd kill them. Like, you
yeah,
know what
that
I
was
mean? I'm fine. FBI, go on the record with this. They'd honestly come with me. They'd be like, "We're gonna go get these fuckers."
Yeah, everyone's so obsessed with like cats
Oh,
lately.
my
I
Like,
love
it's-
cats.
You? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Also-
I'm scared of cats.
What?
I'm like,
Oh,
really?
me and Laura are big cat people.
I think it's because I got my cousin's cat, which was a beautiful Persian cat, like literally scraped my face one time, and it was like
Yeah,
scary,
that's
you know.
scary.
So like you get traumatized. But I know they're cute.
Also, I will say, bad cats suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I guess
really
like bad dogs suck, right? It's
Exactly.
Like
Like,
anything.
you've been exposed to just bad cats. Like, I
Yeah.
get it. Of
I
course,
need
you're
to
not
be-
gonna like them. But
Do you
like,
guys
our
have
cats
good
are.
cats?
Oh, they're
Look, we have the best cats in the whole world. Are you
I
kidding?
need to be around you,
perfect
cat.
little angels.
You're a cat.
Yesterday,
It's amazing that like out of all the cats in the world, me and Laura have the two best ones.
It's like
Yeah,
really
that's so.
insane.
Do they have play
statistically-
dates?
Yes, they
Oh
love
my
each
god,
other.
that's
They
so
do.
cute.
They're friends.
They are
I can
amigas.
always house sit or let a cat sit or whatever, but then watch how they like both screaming at the end of the day. You're like,
No,
shit, no,
no.
I'm kidding. What happened?
Yesterday,
cute.
Password got onto one of our stools. We have these bar stools in our kitchen, and projectile vomited.
Great.
Oh my god.
It was like he wanted to be up high to get the maximum range.
So
Good for him.
cute.
I was like, "Fuck you! What are you doing, man?" Just sprayed down. I was
Actually,
like,
all the
"Thank you
housewives,
so
you don't
much."
see cats. Isn't that
No,
weird?
nobody really has a
For
cat.
pet,
I guess. It's
yeah,
weird.
it's only like a lot of dogs,
Bad people.
and birds.
Bad people. A lot of no one
Birds.
normal owns birds
In Miami, though, I gotta
yeah.
preference that the housewives of Miami have a lot of birds. in their-
No one normal.
Okay,
owns
next
birds.
couple of the franchise: Apollo Nita
Ooh.
or Nida. I don't know how you
Yeah.
pronounce it.
Oh,
and
this is a good couple. I like
Phaedra
these two.
Parks. Well,
No, I like them.
well, you're about to not like them.
Yeah.
Nope, I like them. Did they
So-
kill orphans? What they do?
no, they didn't. So 2014, Apollo, the husband of Phaedra Parks on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, he received an 8-year sentence for a 4-year scheme involving bank, mail, and wire fraud, and the ID theft of over 50 individuals to the tune of $2 million, which is kind of like chump change, honestly, for housewives,
Yeah.
you know.
also
Not
one
for
of the
me.
first
That's a
cases.
shitload of money, but like,
For me, I'd be like, "Oh, I'll go kill myself." Cool.
but yeah.
But I think this was very
Perfect,
salacious. It was one of the first cases, even
This was
before
one of the first
Teresa.
cases.
Yeah.
And this was not his first crime of this
Right.
nature as well. So he actually served 6 years before this. And by the way, at the time of his sentencing, he was only 35, where I'm like, damn, dude, you're spending a
nice.
lot of
Wow.
your time in jail.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a crime of your life, man.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so from 2003 and 2009, he was in jail for a racketeering charge related to a car theft scheme. So
Wow.
I don't know.
What is
that sucks.
racketeering? And why is it the best crime out there?
I love racketeering.
It's the best name
Yeah,
for
it's
a
cool.
crime.
It's very
Racketeering.
mob too.
Racketeering. What did you do? I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it means.
All right, cool. You know what it means, Chanel?
No, I really don't. I'm just like, trying
Does
to take a
anyone know?
guess.
You know, Irish, you know what racketeering is?
Racketeering.
Not off the top of my
Where-
head.
how
I'm
do
trying
they
to
use it
No
in
one
a
knows what it
sentence?
is, but we
Something
know
like
it's like got like a. It feels spicy. It feels fun. Feels kind of
Racketeering. Hey, I'm gonna racketeer today. Yeah, it feels like tennis. Like I'm
you
gonna
know?
take
Yeah.
my racquetball
Feels
and
like you would
racketeer.
racketeer at a country club.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, it
So
does.
it's the act of acquiring a business through illegal activity, operating a business with illegally derived income, or using a business to commit illegal acts.
That's
That's
fun as
big.
shit.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is interesting, actually. He said that he felt pressure to make money to keep up with his wife's high profile
gonna say that.
income and Real Housewives salary. So he was like trying.
Salary.
Yeah, because here's
Yeah.
the thing. So
They
what
do
a
get
lot
paid.
of people they get paid, but what a lot of people don't realize
Not
is
much,
as
though.
you don't get paid much until
What is
you.
what is not much?
I mean,
Can we get
now
a
they're
range?
$100,000 per season, right?
right, and that's like after taxes. It's like
And what does a season really like cover?
Like
Like
12
12
time-wise?
episodes.
Yeah.
So what you're getting paid once a week. So you break it down 100. I mean per year. I guess per year, but it's per
Yeah.
season. It's just they weren't making enough. Now that some of the housewives, the OGs, are making like 1 to 2 million.
Oh,
you know,
shit, I didn't know
after
that.
net.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like my
But-
girl Bethany.
but yeah, she
Yeah.
she would she'd
She
be
would be
making
making
like
a lot.
2 million to 5 million. But like
she should still
Phaedra's
be
not
getting-
making that like at the first season, and I think that's the curse of the conflict. Like they want you to have this lavish lifestyle, so you feel the pressure to have that lavish lifestyle, and some of the husbands feel like I have to bring. Producers aren't going to pay for their lavish lifestyle. Do you know what I'm saying? So they
Right.
have to showcase that, and I think he did feel pressure.
Yeah. Crazy.
Crazy.
So, and then he ended up going to jail for 8 years.
8 years.
Yes.
Is he still in there?
He had a woman.
Is he single?
I actually think he's out. I don't know, but
Does
whatever.
he want to come on the pod?
He had a woman named Gayla Julian open UPS mailboxes and bank checking accounts using the fake identities, deposit the checks, and then pocket the money. Basically, was like how he was doing all this. These people, like fraudsters.
Wait, that's like what Anna Delvey did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Well.
The fake check and then like
Yeah,
cancel
yeah,
and then
yeah.
it cancels.
I still don't understand how she did that. So she would
we
just
do a pod
so
on
she,
it.
but a lot of money like at once. Like she was
Yeah.
doing 60,000. Usually, like a bank just gives you like $100.
No, she would write she wrote a couple fake checks that were like I want to say like 8,000 or something along those lines. They were smaller, quote unquote, amounts.
Right.
It's still crazy.
But the other ones were from real banks. It's the whole thing.
It's so crazy.
So yeah, he also created fake auto dealerships and got the auto loans for phantom cars that didn't exist. So I always think, I'm like, if this guy just applied himself to a regular job, this is fucking smart. Like, I'm
yeah. Why do they do this
I don't know
full-time
how
work for fraud instead of doing it right? Honestly, and
I
then
can't even be a criminal.
I'm way too dumb to be a criminal.
It's,
Criminals
like,
are so
annoying.
smart.
It's so hard to be what you're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
even
Yes.
nowadays, let alone what you're supposed to be.
That's so
like
true.
remember back in the day,
That's
they
so
were like,
true.
"You're gonna end up being a stripper," and you're like, "Yeah, I can't."
No, I
It's
can't.
super
that's
fucking
hard
hard.
work. I can't even do a
Those-
split. Okay.
Yeah,
I think about
those
this-
women have talents.
I think
They
about this
do.
all the time. Like the strippers that like are in New Orleans. There's tons of strip clubs, right? And I'm like,
Sure.
where are they
Famous-
finding these women with perfect bodies?
I know.
Within like 50 miles,
You
probably.
can
Like,
just jump up and down.
yeah,
on this
that are
pole.
super athletic and strong
Well,
and
they
like.
do have you seen the Playboy documentary? They do like a recruit, like of,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I'm sure they do, but I
with
mean-
Playboy, but also with all these strip clubs, like they actually found a lot of the Playboy mates from strip clubs.
Where did they find them?
like
At
it's-
the strip club.
At the strip club. Well,
But
they
then where does the
recruit.
strip
There's
club find
people
these
like
people? Yeah.
recruit, like the businessmen
Just
who
the
probably
local
go to the.
playground, if I may.
By the
Too
way,
much?
there are
Okay,
no
bye.
strip clubs in New York. Speaking of
What
strip
kind of
clubs,
strip clubs are
I
you
don't
going
know.
to?
I don't go to strip clubs.
I'm shocked none of the
I
housewives'
hate-
husbands
I'll get 'em
own strip
early.
clubs.
Yeah, I fucking hate
do?
strip clubs.
I
Ugh.
like them once in a while. Like
Oh my
when you're
gosh.
having a
Oh.
good time once in a while, but other than that,
I do
no,
not need to see my male friends horned up.
That's
I just
true,
don't.
though.
Like
The
if
whole
I
concept is-
imagine me at a strip club with Ben and Max. First
But
of
that's
all,
not fun for you.
Max
Like,
would
do
be
you get-
completely
do you-
flaccid
you don't
because we
have
all know
fun?
why. But then secondly, I do not need to see Ben with a semblance of a chubby. Like I'm good.
Ben would
I
be
just
the
learned
most
what a chubby
awkward
was,
person.
by
That's
the way.
disgusting. That
the most
disgusts
awkward
me.
person at the strip club.
Oh, he'd just be like a nervous bear in the corner.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. I guess I would see that too, right? They would both be awkward. They'd be like, "What is going on?"
Oh,
here?
it would be, and especially, oh God, I can't even. That would be like a nightmare. To
Nightmare.
go to the strip club with Ben and Max specifically.
You have to go with the right crew.
Yeah.
I remember going with like a couple.
I will
of-
do anything with them except for go to the strip club.
And also, it's like, I mean, the women who dance, it's fun. Like, but yeah, why would
Yeah.
we want to be in strip clubs for that long?
I would
That's-
rather go to the DMV than the strip club.
Oh, I'd
Yeah.
rather go to the strip club and over the DMV. Fuck. The fucking DMV is a headache. By the way, I have to go renew my license.
Okay, we have 2 more housewives to cover because this is getting to be quite a long podcast. Because they're and this. Oh, by the way, I had a list of housewives and I shorted this. I made this shorter. That's how many fucking fraudsters there are. Next one, Mary Cosby.
Mary Crosby, right?
Praise-
Crosby.
oh,
Praise
Crosby.
her. She is hilarious because she also is a religious character on the show.
Oh my God. Well, that's what she's getting in trouble for. So she runs a church and
There's a church.
yes.
May has the facts, man.
And she is accused of running a cult instead
Hell
of a
yeah.
church.
Golden
so
Idol.
you're
Got
going to
it.
fucking die, Laura. Are you
right.
ready for this?
No,
Mary
I'm not.
inherited the Faith Temple Pentecostal Church from her grandmother, Rosemary, who
How does-
founded the church after she passed away. But in order to follow in her grandmother's footsteps, Mary had to marry Rosemary's husband, a.k.a.
No pun
her
intended.
step-grandfather.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
So she's married to her fucking grandfather, dude.
No, she's not. That
Yes,
I don't know how she doesn't have her own
No.
show. Yeah,
Yeah,
she is.
she is.
That's
No,
crazy.
you go
That
to
shouldn't
jail
even-
if you do that.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
You have to go to jail if you do that.
She should hear the bars clink.
Laura's gonna be the new judge,
I-
making the new laws, motherfuckers.
You're going to
To jail.
Mary, No, that's gross. That's what that is.
It's disgusting. So she also said, she was like, don't think it wasn't weird because it was, Mary
No,
says.
no one thought it. Everyone knew it's weird. No one ever was like, it's not weird.
This
It's
is the best
insane.
quote too, but she trusted her grandma. But
Yeah.
because I trusted my grandmother, that's hilarious. It's like, okay,
She was
grandmother.
like, he's gonna be good in bed.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I trust my grandma.
Can you believe that fucking shit? I don't think they have sex, though. I think publicly on the podcast, she was like, we have sex like once a year on his
No,
birthday.
that is sex.
Oh, that
That's
is-
too much sex.
That's too much sex with your grandpa.
grandfather. What the fuck is wrong with people? Wait, are they blood related? Please.
No, they're not blood related.
Oh, thank God.
Because it's her,
Wait, man,
it's
I
her,
also-
it's her blood mom's. Wait, how would that be? Oh, it's her step grandfather.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Not that that makes it better, but it does.
yeah, of course, it makes it better.
I
Yeah,
mean, at least there's no DNA.
yeah. Oh my god, ew.
What's wrong with these people? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
my God,
Something
so
psychological. I
much.
think honestly,
Yeah, we're
reality
like, what's wrong
stars.
with reality stars?
She's like, what's
Chanel?
wrong with you,
Yeah.
Chanel? No, because I know
mean,
there's a lot's wrong with
Listen,
me.
a lot is wrong with me
A
too.
lot
I get
is
it.
wrong
It's
with
just a
me.
different brand, so I'm curious.
Yeah. No, it's funny because I also was like counted as, not to brag, normal for reality TV, but something's really
God.
fucking wrong with me. No, I think that's
It's a low bar.
psychologically.
Oh, yikes.
I think psychologically, they've been abused at some point or another,
Oh,
mentally,
no.
for sure. I think bullied. I think outcast, and I think all that created this eccentric attitude for that, like about
Yeah.
a person, or just like someone who's just like really spoken, or just like will marry or
Their
have sex with their
grandpa.
grandfather or step grandfather. Like they're such an open book that nothing is off limits. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's just a personality thing.
I guess so.
It's-
So,
yeah.
so Mary is getting accused of not just running a church; she's getting accused of running a cult. And specifically, there was this guy Cameron that was on the show, and he basically said that he had given her almost $300,000 and had mortgaged his house, had like remortgaged his house or whatever because Mary told him to. He goes, "Is it a cult? Yes. Does she call herself God? I don't know why it's just a god. God? Yes." So
just gave her
Mary-
I
So
mean,
she's
that sounds like
scamming.
she's
Yeah, that's
she's
scamming.
scamming
She should
the
do
members
tech
of her.
sales. God damn.
Yeah, so she's scamming the members of her church and being like, God will love you more if you give me
Right. But
$300,000.
But here's the thing,
and I'm God.
And here's the thing, I'm not trying to justify it, but I do understand, like, back to the question of why do they do this. I really think it's like in real life when you borrow money from people for a business, right?
right.
You don't realize that you're not going to pay it back in time, or if you don't, that someone's going to snitch on you and actually say this person took money from me.
I don't
Would
even-
you, like, if you borrowed from May and then you went on last comic standing and then it just, I don't know, someone had a press article, do you think you would think she would tell that you borrowed money from her? Probably not.
Well, I mean, guys, think about this in concept of like a business. They go and
Right.
do funding rounds all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what the agreement was between the two of them, but
Yeah.
someone giving someone a large sum of money to do
A business funding,
God-like
right.
things, like buy Twitter, for instance.
Like Elon
It's
Musk.
pretty standard. It happens a lot.
Yeah, that's why I don't know why it's
That's
such
why we
a...
need to focus on her fucking her grandfather.
Is that not the
That's
most...
more of a crime.
That is 100%
So-
the problem here.
A former member, this guy Ralph, he accused Ralph Arnold Jr. He accused Mary of preaching that she is God on earth and that the church has gone to ruin. He says that she screams at her members and mentally abuses them into submission.
That's
She-
religion, but
she,
okay.
Yeah, right. She brainwashes
That
them
is
on the regular, not to mention the
Religion.
utterly flamboyant and hypocritical life she lives, also religion.
Well, also that's the thing too. So some of her cast
Crushing
members,
being a church.
some of her cast members from Salt Lake City. So I ran into them, and Meredith specifically was like, I think the thing they have a problem with her, and with just a lot of people, is that she comes off as like preachy and I'm the best, or I'm better than thou, and then there's these secrets that come out, and it's like, are you better than thou? Like, why are you treating us like you're better than us, or preachy, when you're doing all these fucked up things?
Yeah.
And using religion as a mask. So you
Right.
can understand why people,
No, absolutely.
but I just don't agree with bringing all these people down so badly just because of mistakes they made.
Yeah,
Because it
no,
can
I
happen
agree.
to all of us just because you want to be on TV for that.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, listen,
Right?
if you were told to marry your grandfather and then start a
Yeah, I'd
religion,
be like, it's not my fault.
It's not my fault. I just wanted to be on TV.
Yikes.
Is that a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, we have a
I mean,
saying on
easy
the-
mistake.
We have a saying on this podcast, though, that usually people are the exact opposite of what they say they are.
true.
So, like with her, and that's so
Interesting.
true. Like she's out there preaching, like, I'm such a good person, I'm such a godly woman, and whatever. And then in reality, she's stealing money and making people go into bankruptcy to
Right.
fund her.
Right.
So it's like everyone is the opposite. So basically, if you know anybody that owns and operates a charity, they're diddling kids.
They're
Let me tell you something.
Yeah. That's why I always get fickle when I associate charity with my stuff. I mean, I love to give back, but you never know who's
Because you're
behind
worried
that
that someone's
charity.
going to uncover your diddly.
Well, that and also like, what if the charity is doing human trafficking and then I'm like, you know, promoting that, I'm pushing
Maybe.
that, and then you never know, because that's why I always say you got to do your due diligence. It's
Of course.
it's smart to do that.
Okay, so our last couple that made my the last couple that made my list, because there was a long list, is Whitney and Justin Rose.
Oh, this is fairly new too.
This is fairly new.
Oh my God, and they completely fit.
How beautiful
They
is she?
really
She's
do.
also one of my favorites.
They're
I don't know.
related? No, you did.
No.
You just say they're related?
No,
They are not.
Thank God.
But I wouldn't be surprised because they're all, she's Mormon.
she's Mormon, and she's
And he's
ex-Mormon,
rich.
and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
she's
Salt
really
Lake
in
as
love
well?
with him. She's like a very
No,
like.
she's not.
She's like no, but on the
She
show,
does
she's very
seem
like I
that way.
stand by my man, even though he cheats on me. No, she has that vibe.
Yeah. And they have she's very okay. This is the other thing. Going with the theme of everyone's the opposite. She's constantly talking about how much sex they have. I'm like, tell me you don't have sex anymore without telling me you don't have sex anymore.
Yes, you're right. That's
You know what I
true.
mean?
That's
like
very
I don't need
true.
to tell anybody about my sex life
No.
because it's fine. Like
Yeah.
it's not interesting to
Right.
anybody except for me.
Yeah.
I think
If
she
you
has
need
to
to know about it,
overcompensate.
you'll know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think she has to overcompensate because you're right. You're probably not.
If I'm
having
ever
it.
bragging about my sex life, please know that we're in a bad place sexually.
Yikes.
I just brag about it because I want it to actually exist, you know. Because sometimes people deny it, so fuck you, man.
Okay, Laura, you're gonna love this.
Oh,
you are gonna
no,
love
that
this.
means it's gonna be fucked up. That's usually shit
So-
I get into.
Justin is the chief sales officer of a company called Life Vantage, which sells
Oh, no.
dietary supplements through a direct sales business model. An MLM, bitch. So he's previously held positions at multi-level marketing companies, Shackley, New Skin, and Melaleuca. So basically back in 2018, Life Vantage was sued by some guy, Brian Smith, for running an illegal pyramid scheme, and Justin was one of the 3 executives named in the lawsuit. And then, so he vehemently denies, he's like, it's not an MLM. It just operates exactly like an MLM.
It just brings the power to you. Makes you an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Boss babe mentality.
Pretty fucking much. So the lawsuit accused Justin of being actively involved in promoting the Life Advantage scheme to potential recruits at Life
Victims.
Advantage events through social media and his direction and by his direction of Life Advantage top promoters.
Oh,
Whatever.
yikes.
So
I famously hate MLMs. Not that that's
Well,
a hot take.
yeah, I love them.
Well, some people do. I think I told you I did a show in Houston,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
have some jokes about
yeah.
MLMs. And out the gate, one of the people in the front row raised her hand and goes, "I drove here in a pink Cadillac," which means that she's like a head person at Mary Kay. And I was like, "The devil's here in the building."
And you're like, girl, you should not admit that out loud.
Yeah.
Also, I was just like, "We will never. Don't laugh at any
Friends.
of my jokes, please.
You're like, we'll never be friends.
I hate you. You have ruined people's lives."
So I will say the case is still ongoing, but a judge recently dismissed all but one of the claims against the company. So
I do think it's going to be
they're so hard to pinpoint, like in legal court.
Right.
Like, it's very
Yeah.
difficult to get them like actually squared
Right.
down. Like,
well, and that's why it's such a storyline, I think, on the show. Like, this is going to be a major storyline for season 3 because they only touched base briefly season 2. And
on
now
the
season 3.
reunion, they brought
they-
it up, and I didn't even know about that.
They did bring it up, right?
Yeah, they did.
Because that's the thing is these women are fierce. Like, I could tell you one thing about reality TV, including my cast members, God bless them. Like, I thought these were my real friends because I grew up with them.
Mm-hmm.
When you get on that show or on a platform like Bravo or any just TV thing, I think with other women, there's a sense of competition. And if
Mm-hmm.
you can't handle it, you always feel like you have to be like the best one, the better one.
Right. The
Like,
more interesting one, the more likable one, the more relatable one.
Exactly. And if that's bringing other people down, which was never my motto,
Right.
then so be it. You know, it's like it's everyone's out for themselves, you know, kind of thing.
Of course, yeah.
Which is sad to see these women also bring some of these women down just because they've made mistakes or have had these scandals, because it's almost like, where's the women empowerment? That's kind of fucked up. But
Well,
it's,
yeah.
it's not a thing.
it's not a thing, right? It's not a thing. I know we could go hours for talking.
We
talking
really
about that,
could,
'cause
yeah.
it is not a thing,
No, it's definitely not a thing. So,
except for us. We empower each other.
so
But you like me the most, right?
people are only tuning into this podcast because me, right?
I would love to see us on a show together, right? Yeah.
So, in true Mormonism-ness, he was actually fired from his job recently because of a racy bedroom scene that
What?
aired on the show. Yeah.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right. Now I'll tune in.
That's like another
Wait,
thing, yeah.
between the two that we just saw?
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
That's what I mean. They're like constantly talking about their sex life, and I'm like, you guys don't have sex.
That's why, like, when so many for my friends were like who had like real jobs in corporate companies, they're like, should I do reality TV? I'm like, not if you want to lose your job. Like, it's for people who are entrepreneurs, people who, like you said, don't have a lot of things to hide, people who are also
don't like health insurance.
Don't like health insurance.
Well, Bravo probably gives them health insurance.
Well,
no?
for like 12 weeks, and then they keep it moving.
Eventually, when you're first season, though, you don't get a lot. You know, you don't get paid. You know, that's like their test. You know what I'm saying?
They're like,
you know, this princess ain't no princess
pre-existing
no more.
conditions?
Yeah, if you haven't. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with reality TV. You have to be also open with.
They don't want them to be psychologically medicated going into the show.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Because then you're like,
so that's why there's no health insurance.
Yeah, and especially when you break up with your boyfriends on national TV,
like,
they love that.
Oh, they love that.
Yeah, that's happened to me. Or
Make
divorce,
get her drunk.
Yeah, they love getting you drunk, and you know the interviews because you want to be loose and open and talk about things, or else then why are people tuning in to your story? You know,
right. Yeah, it's funny.
Would you guys
think
want to
about
do reality TV?
I mean, we're doing it right now.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I'd like to think no, but I guess it would depend on the situation. But I'm just scared. I would be scared because, like, they can edit it to make you look however you want.
Yeah.
Like, there was that editor that got in trouble for making Sheena Shea on what's it called, Vanderpump Rules, made her look really bad. And yeah, I mean, she was saying and doing those things, but they edited it in a way that made her look insanely bad because they just didn't like her. And so, like, you open yourself up to those vulnerabilities where you're like, I could be being completely normal, but like the music they put behind me and like the way that they portray me could be different than what I'm actually portraying myself. You don't give up like control of yourself.
Yeah, but I always say that if you are yourself and if you at the core a good person, or just like, I think also being reserved in the first season helps you because it helps people like you more, and the public really makes the decision of wanting you on the show or not.
Right.
But yeah, it's not for everyone. It was definitely a challenge. But
and that would hurt so much to be like, the public doesn't like me.
It does hurt.
Yeah.
It does hurt when you get like those comments of people, but they don't know you. You also have to put in perspective. They don't really know you. They just read things about you. I mean, things like this is scary.
But that's what's really fucked up is like, I feel like I know these people, but I don't.
Right.
I have no idea who Erica Jane is as a person.
Bethany.
You know.
Yeah, you know. Now you know Lisa Vanderpump. You guys
I know
got
Lisa
close.
Vanderpump.
You know.
I will find that picture.
I have a feeling that's going to come to that's the next case, the Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah.
And I feel so
she's
bad
perfect.
saying that because I love her
But
and
they
I pray
have
for
so
her.
much money. There's other
And they're also
shoes gonna
partners
drop.
with see, here's the thing that people don't know. Lisa Vanderpump just puts her name on things, which is a smart business decision, just like Bethany Frankel does. But at the same time, she doesn't know what her partners are doing.
Right.
And then, it's like a whole thing. It's a lot of work.
One
It's
thing that I've
exhausting being a reality star.
One thing that I've realized as I get older is that anybody with any sort of substantial money is a criminal.
Oh.
Okay, that's you know what? That's why it's good I don't make money. Sometimes I'm like, it sucks that I don't make money, and then I'm like, it's a good thing. I don't have to ever be considered a criminal.
I've learned a lot, you guys.
That's good.
How
I'm
fun
so
was
happy.
this?
This was
It's so much fun.
my brain can't. It doesn't know that these are real humans.
She's gonna be thinking about it at night, being like, "Oh my God, that Jen Shaw case. What if I have new theories now?"
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and
Watch
watch The Real Housewives. Also, do yourself a favor and listen to Chanel in the City.
Thank you. Yes, and there's a lot of housewife interviews on there. You can find some information if you want. Also,
Is Bethany on there?
no, not yet. That's my dream. I know.
That's a
we gotta
white
get her.
whale.
We gotta get her on.
White
She's
whale,
good.
Yeah.
But also tune in if you want to feel better about yourselves to Princesses of Long Island. It's on Prime. I mean, I don't make any money off of it, but
You
Bravo
don't?
does. I
Oh,
don't.
fuck.
No royalties until you're like 4 or 5 seasons in.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Now I'm giving too much information. I should have just been a fucking consultant of how to be a reality star.
Yeah, right?
That makes so much money.
Honestly,
That's
you should
another
do a
idea.
TikTok on that.
I
People would
should.
follow the shit
You
out of
did?
that.
Yeah.
I always say no, but you know what? I should. Ani, we have some
Yeah.
business to do. Just kidding. But yeah, that's
Hey,
like
you want to be a reality star? This is your track.
Then-
First of all, have this accent. I don't know why.
definitely have this Long Island or New York accent. You know what I'm saying?
Rule number
Yeah.
one.
But also follow me at the All Star Comedy Show. Watch these two beauties. They're going to be on the show. Yes. I hope I
you
have
also have that Zodiac show, right?
Yes, we have the Zodiac with Scorpio Sister Sketches. It's with my co-producer, Aaliyah Janine, who's also a stand-up comedian, and she's a Scorpio. And we base it on your birthdays each month. So
Yeah.
I have both of you, too. What's your birthday again?
Oh my
It was
God.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes, right. So you're
Yeah.
are you an Aries or a Taurus?
Who cares?
What?
You're an
Taurus,
Aries.
I was
Oh,
Taurus.
really?
Yeah. A Taurus?
Yeah. But remember that weird.
I mean, that
good. You
makes
could be on
sense
our
for
Taurus
you.
show.
Remember,
You're
like-
very
You're very Taurus.
Oh, come on.
Wait, this is perfect, Laura. No, but Laura, can you do May 19th? We'll talk about it after because we need a Taurus of the Taurus.
I remember
comedy show.
a couple years ago when they were like trying to shift the horoscopes. They
Oh,
were like,
yeah.
now you're an Aries. And I was
So
like,
you're a Taurus because you're
what?
end of the month.
And then I think they just kind of forgot about that whole thing.
No, they
Like,
didn't. They didn't.
And when's your birthday?
July 10th.
July, yeah. So you're
I'm a Cancer.
Cancer. So you're on the Cancer show.
You are
yeah.
a Cancer.
Yeah, to everybody around me.
My mom's
growing.
a Cancer.
What?
My mom's a Cancer.
Yeah.
Which is weird that me and you get along because I do not get along with her. No, I love her.
Yeah,
though. I
but a
just get-
lot of people say I'm not Cancer
You're not.
like.
Yeah, that's the.
Well, because
you're
my
not.
rising sign, Laura,
is.
if you need to know, it's Aquarius.
I'm gonna
Oh,
shoot
my
my-
sister, I love.
shoot
Okay,
myself
that's
in
what
the
makes
brain.
sense. Okay, you're very cool and chill.
Right,
Okay.
and then my moon sign is Leo.
What the
Ooh,
fuck is a
strong.
moon sign?
I'm still trying to.
This
figure it
whole
out.
this whole episode,
Podcast.
this whole episode, top to bottom, has been me just being like, "What?
Just going. What the fuck is this?
Hello?"
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Anyway, guys, like and subscribe, please. It's free. Just do it. Just stop fucking making us ask you to do it. Just do it already. God damn. And
free.
and also give
I
us a
will
5-star
I will
review. It's
tell
also free.
I'll
yeah,
tell the IRS to look into you. My
That's
guys
amazing.
at the FBI.
that's amazing. Just don't come knocking on my door because I
this-
don't have anything, guys.
And if this is your first episode you're listening to, this is kind of a wacky one. This is not normally how ours go.
my
but
fault.
anyway, yeah. Follow Chanel. Listen to her podcast. She's great. And we will catch you next time.
Thank you.
Follow us on
Bye.
Instagram. Bye.
Love you. Thank you, guys.